We have planted perennials in the new native garden. If you're following along with this project, I think this is maybe the 5th video or something like that that we've done over here at this point. We've put in about, I think, 13 shrubs, shrub and trees total. And we have a bunch of perennials. We got Plant Delights donated some and sent them in the mail, and I unboxed them. Had to unbox them quickly. We had a lot going on at that moment, and I wasn't able to talk through them as I unboxed them, but we've gotten them in the ground today, and we'll be talking about them more in the future. So there's some things from Plant Delights and some various other places that we've collected plants. We still have a few things, a palm that's been donated that I've got to get in here, and a few others that you'll see in an upcoming video, some other shrubs that are coming in here. But I really needed to get these perennials in the ground. But we did this deep wood chip method over here, and I really don't like to put herbaceous perennials in that deep wood chip material until it's broken down just a little bit, at least some. It just, you know, there's a lot out there in the world about it robbing nitrogen from things, and it's somewhat true. It's very temporary, but these herbaceous things take it a little tougher than the shrubs do. The woody shrubs just don't miss a beat as long as I don't bury them in it. You know, so I've mounded things up in it, and then, you know, I don't put the 6 inches of wood chips back over their roots or anything like that. You know, there's a very thin layer of wood chips. So what I did here is I thinned this out. I took about 3 inches of wood chips off the top and made an exciting discovery as I was doing this. It has begun. You know, this is when Steph gets over here, hopefully this is going to show up on video. You can see this white material, this webbing that's down here starting to form. You know, this is the beneficial fungi I'm always talking about, always ranting about on the channel. It's kicking in, right? So we put these wood chips down back in, gosh, was it January stuff or early February, I guess, early February. So it's been 2 months, but the ground's been very cold. It wasn't until the last couple weeks that we've gotten a soil temperature up to where these beneficial things can start actually working on these wood chips. Once that system right there kicks in, it will not take long at all for these wood chips to start going away really quickly. What's also exciting over here is that in our main garden over there, we haven't mulched this spring because our mulch was getting a little bit thick, and we have a ton to plant. So we're getting a lot of planting done before we mulch. It's dry. It's really dry over there, and it's dry everywhere. Griffin, what you gonna do there, buddy? You gonna dig in the compost? Is that what you're about to do? Good boy. What the heck was I saying? What was I? Oh, it's wet. Okay, that's where I was going. So uncovering this, it was also nice to see it's got consistent moisture. So we've been looking at some of the things over here, thinking in the other garden, we're gonna need to be watering some potentially, because we're another 3-4 days without rain, and it's middle 80s the next 3 or 4 days. And over here, things aren't even wilting in the full sun. We got a gold elderberry over there that's just doesn't seem to care at all. And so it looks like we're gaining the benefits of the wood chips already, despite the fact they haven't broken down all that much. But when I put the perennials in, I definitely did not want to bury them in it. So I pulled back, again, I pulled back 3 or 4 inches of it, and then I pulled back a little more here so you guys could see this this fungal growth starting that's going to start breaking this stuff down and making this food available. And I'll just smooth it all. I'll smooth it all back out. So these, I added a little bit of compost. A lot of these native perennials don't need a lot of anything extra, but this is a holding area. I'm going to wait till these wood chips break down a little more, and then we'll start to spread these perennials out. But we're going to have kind of a holding area here. They're better off in the ground than they are in that container, because each of those containers is requiring different watering. And a lot of times, and I'm guilty as anybody of this, people will water to the driest plant. And if you water to the driest plant, you will kill the plants that don't need water. So Steph, if you want to get over here close, we'll go through a couple of these. I'm not going to go into great detail in this initial video here, but as we spread them out around the garden and you see them in the future, we've got a couple of ground covers. All these are natives or named cultivars of natives, but this is a viola that you're looking at here. This is one that we've seen in several gardens. Always love it when we see it. It's got that kind of a purpley back on it, and then behind it is a native Pachysandra. And then sliding back to the back there, there's a Helianthus. That's going to get 48 inches tall, something like that. And then there's a couple Coreopsis in front of that. There's Coreopsis grandiflora, and then a Coreopsis palustris in the very front of the bed. Those two both, I think, came from Plant Delights. Really quite nice, very nice plants. There's a couple Rudbeckia over to the left, and this is one that I had really wanted because when we were up in the Philadelphia area and did some filming up there, saw these in just full flower last fall. They're really, really beautiful. There's a native Buddleia behind that, and lots of Buddleia in our gardens all over America, but not necessarily the native Buddleia. This one, it's not as floriferous as other Buddleia, but it is kind of interesting that we have a native Buddleia, so we wanted that in the garden. There's a Eupatorium behind it, and really nice foliage. We've got, this is a Little Red, and we've got one called Little Joe, Joe Pye weed, and then we've got another just straight species ones out by the road. So we have several of these now, and the pollinators go absolutely bonkers for them. And there's a Solidago in that corner, looking really, another one from Plant Delights. That's Solidago stricta Yellow Rockets is the name of that one. That one's actually a Plant Delights introduction, I'm pretty sure. And then last but not least, this Berlandiera is called Chocoholic. So what I've done there is just create a holding area. I'm actually going to put a small cage around it. We have rabbits on this side of the garden, so I need to get those things to get some growth on them before, I don't know which of them the rabbits will eat. In all likelihood, the asters for sure, anything in the aster family. So that's going to be the Rudbeckia and the Solidago for sure, the Coreopsis potentially. They'll eat a lot of those aster family plants. Not all, but a lot of them. So I'm going to put a little cage around that. And again, it's just a spot that now the water is regulated without us having to worry about them individually. If it gets dry, the whole group can be watered. But when they're in pots like that, it's just easy to kill one. As many things as Plant Delights grows, I am in awe of how they can water that many different types of plants that many different ways without having watering issues, because that's one of the things in the nursery business where things kind of get, where you tend to be growing a lot of the same kinds of things because they need the same kinds of attention and that kind of thing. But when you start to get so many different types of plants that need different water requirements, it gets really, really difficult. This Royal Resilience rhododendron hit the ground running, and it was extremely root bound. Another indicator that this moisture in the bottom of this is really good, because we haven't come back over here and watered it, and it's got lots of new growth on it. It hasn't missed a beat. This Little King river birch, same thing. It was very root bound, as you wouldn't, any river birch is going to be in a container. And I may have, did you water it, come over here and water it once? So it got watered in once, maybe twice, and then has been ignored since then. But we've got, if I go down here with this rake, it takes no time to find moisture. So they're in good shape, and they're not buried in it. Right here on the top of the root ball, there's almost no chips at all. The Viburnum nudum we showed in a video, in the Viburnum video, there was 25 Viburnum in a video, and I'm really kind of amazed how many more flowers it's going to have. Just moving it over the winter and having it in more sun this spring is completely changed this plant. It's just leafing out, so it's still hair thin, but these leaves will get much larger in time, and of course then it'll start adding leaves as it finishes flowering. So everything's just kind of hit the ground running over here. I will real quick, if you want to back up and do that angle right there, Steph, that the fringe tree is blooming, and this is that native to Florida rare fringe tree, Cyananthus pygmaeus is that species. But beautiful to see it come into full flower here in the garden. Leaves are a little off colored on it. I'm guessing it's probably slightly overwatered, if anything, is what's going on with it as it's come out of that. That's the only thing I see on anything that looks off in any way, shape, or form. But anyway, we're jumping in. We've got several more things to plant, and again, sometimes with perennial, getting things in the ground, they're better off in the ground in some sort of storage. That's what we did for the winter time too with our container plants. If you haven't followed the channel, September, October, we just put all of our container plants in the ground in the vegetable garden for the winter, and we were able to not worry about them the entire winter, not worry about how cold it was, not worry about anything. And then we've just taken them out from there and putting them into the landscape or putting them back into containers or whatever. So I kind of like ground storage over container storage any day. So update on the native garden. We'll see you again over here soon. All of these videos are in a playlist called Native Garden, and there's a whole group of plants, and a whole another group of plants ready to go in over here as well. And I'm probably going to put the drone back up over here and show you how we're laying the paths out. I had done that initially, and then we made some subtle changes to it, and the plants that are going in here will start to show that off a bit. Once we get some more plants in here, then you'll be able to see where the paths are going to be. Right now it looks like just random plant stuck. It is random plant stuck, but there's a method to the madness that will unfold, I promise, over the next few months. So thanks for watching.